Again, one of the things I want to wake up in all of you is just how powerful you are. There's a bunch of you that run groups. Sometimes when you run a group and you ask for feedback, has anyone else done this? Hey, you know what, your group was okay, but I didn't get this in the group. Has anyone else had that? And you're thinking, you didn't ask for it, right? We're not babysitting people. So you want to create something, I'm giving you full permission, go and create it. Create what you want to create. When I was in the ACS, which was Steve Chandler's coaching school, there were 3 people, you might have heard of this, Melissa Ford, David Schwendeman, and Gary Moller. And they created what they called a service triad, because they wanted to create something. And what they did was, they created a little group where they just served each other and had a weekly conversation. And they created it from nothing. And they really benefited from it. It was so powerful, it then turned into a paid program that they offered to other people. Melissa created this paid program. I was inspired by it, and I created a different version of it. My thing at the time was, I was competitive to a fault, which meant I was very judgmental. And I would listen to Steve, and I'd listen to things about being there for other people, and in my head I was like, yeah, that's good, but really, it was coming from a place of insecurity. And I would be judging, oh, why is he doing, or why is she doing this, or I'm better than that. And I was like, I want to change that. It's not about service. I got service down. They did this service triad. I wanted to create a group, and I call it the anti-competitive group. And I teamed up with 4 other coaches, and we were all like that. And we talked about our judgments. And I went, you know, so-and-so in our school, and I won't say the name. And they went, yeah. And I went, man, I'm so competitive against that person. And I'm judging them at the same time. And I know that's part of me, like my own insecurity. And I want to just open it up. And I didn't say that up front. I just said, I want this anti-competitive group, and 4 of the coaches said, yeah, we want to be part of that. And then we spoke, and then they all had their version of what I had, and we just had a few conversations, and it was so helpful. But I created that from nothing. All right, part of the theme of this weekend. You are all powerful enough to create whatever you want within the container of the school. And you know, I really realized this with Steve Chandler. I would create content. So this is even before the book. I'd create my podcast, and I had a thing of like, oh, this is just free. This is just my service to the community. This is just a thing that I do. And it was like, that's not my business thing. That's not where I make money. And then Steve stood up at ACS, acknowledged my podcast, and started telling us about how he was creating clients from it. And I was like, huh? What? And he said, yeah, I send, if I really like one of the podcasts, I'll send it to a client and say, listen to this, because they've got some relationship challenge. By the way, I help my clients with this sort of thing. So he just built it in. And I'm like, oh wow, he's using my content to create clients for him. Maybe I could use my content to create clients for me. But all of you can use the content in the school to create clients for you. And it doesn't have to be to create coaches as clients. It can be with anyone, like Sweet Sharing or like The Ultimate Coach. It's not for coaches. It really is for anyone and everyone. And also, I don't know if it's still happening, something weird is happening with Amazon where they're selling my book for $2.99. I don't know why, right? And I've gone in and checked it. It should be a higher price. They're selling it for $2.99. It's a glitch. It limits you to 3 books. By the way, $2.99 is cheaper than I can buy it for, right? I buy them for about £3 something plus delivery. Now you can buy multiple copies of 3 books right now. Now here's the thing, if I were you, right, books can be expensive, like can £10, £15. If I get a book that I like, and it just so happens it's mine, but it doesn't have to be mine. If I find a book that I like, that's gonna help me create clients, and I can get it for £3, I'm buying a ton of them, right? I'm buying a ton of them and using them. And I have, so people, this is a different thing about the school around the way we use stuff. So a lot of coaches will use a book and think, okay, I'm gonna put a book out and I'm gonna put it out in the world, I'm gonna try and get 10,000 copies sold, and that's gonna create me clients. And that's one way. This is the way I've used my book. I'm speaking to a prospect that's interested in working with me, and then I say, here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna send you a copy of my book, and I want you to read the book, or I want you to read the first 10 chapters, or I want you to read these 2 chapters from the book before our next session. The number of times that has moved a client from I could tell they were really unsure into I'm ready to pay you now. I had this happen with a guy who was, he had 2 conversations, he was really kicking tires, and I said, he goes, can I talk to you again? I went, no. I said, I'm not interested in just having free conversations with you, but if you want to talk again, I want you to read the first 10, 15 chapters of my book. He went, 10, 15 chapters? I went, they're really short chapters. Okay, we'll talk in 2 weeks' time. Okay, he goes away. 3 days later, he goes, I can't wait 2 weeks. Can I talk to you on Monday? We spoke on Monday, he signed up for a £10,000 package, right? Because he saw something in the book. I have a client who's a plastic surgeon. I met him at something that I was speaking at, and it's when my book had just about come out. It wasn't even out, and I had the proof copies. I sent him a proof copy of the book. We were talking about something totally different. He reads the book and he goes, I need to hire you. I want that. Now again, this isn't about me. You all can send people a copy of the book, or this book, or this book, or Mastery, and say, I help people have the shift that they talk about in this book. That's why I'm sending it to you. You'll be amazed at how many people will hire you if you do that. And again, this isn't a like, do this with every person. This is just a tool in your toolkit, because some people will just say, I don't read books. All right? Some people they would take a year to read a book, so it's not a good, useful thing for them. Find out, do they read? Now, the good thing about Crazy Good, which I love, the good thing about Sweet Sharing is the chapters are really short. So you can say to someone, read, these 3 chapters. It's not going to take them very long, even if they're not readers. And what I found is, with the really short chapters, people will go through my book. If a chapter's like 40 pages, people don't like reading halfway through a chapter and stopping. They go, oh, I forgot what it was. When chapters are short, it's like reading an Instagram post or a Facebook post. It's easy to digest, right? And just know that I wrote my book in guidance with Steve Chandler in a way to help me create clients. You can too. The questions at the end of each chapter, they're great questions for you to ask clients. They're great questions for a client to reflect on and send it to you.